Hello ladies and gentlemen, Bowmaster619 here. It is another beautiful day in colorful Colorado. Time for a bow vlog. I am going to be giving a brief review of this bow, as well as demonstrating 3 different archery holds that are used fairly commonly nowadays. Now as far as this bow is concerned, interesting color. It is fiberglass and possibly as well as acrylic, and pretty much it's a mystery bow. The only marking on it is the one that I put here for the AMO, which is approximately 60 inches. And the reason I say mystery bow is because my friend is the one who found this. Now his family owns a few different apartment complexes, and anyone who has dealt with apartment complexes knows that sometimes, when the tenants move out, they will leave things behind. And for this particular tenant, this happened to be one of the items that was left behind. My friend told me that essentially he had no use for it and wanted to know if I wanted it, and I said sure. Now, as far as who it's made by, we have no clue. Draw weight is approximately 45 pounds. I have noticed that when shooting a fiberglass bow like this one, it tends to stack up faster than other types of material do. But that's why I am sticking with my initial guess of 45 pounds as opposed to more. Overall though, this is a very good bow. I enjoy shooting it. It does have a little bit of hand shock, and if you're not careful in the way you're holding it, you might scrape your fingers with the fletching every now and then. But minor setbacks, nothing major. The other nice thing is the fact that this bow is ambidextrous, which basically means you can shoot it right-handed, left-handed, or, in the case of today's video, you can shoot with different types of releases. Now the first one is the one that I've already been shooting with, which is known as the Mediterranean release, or the 3-finger release. This is the one that I guarantee most people are familiar with, as it is the most common nowadays. There are 2 different ways that you can hold the string with this. There's either 1 finger above, 2 fingers below, or you can draw with all 3 fingers under the knob. For a while I did draw this way, but I did notice a couple of small drawbacks, for me at least. One of the nice things though is the fact that basically that acts as an aiming device. For when you draw back that way, you're able to look straight down the arrow and see exactly where you're pointing it at. So for any kind of short distance, you know, it's almost like having rifle sights. You aim with the back of the arrow, and then you look up to the front and to where you want it to go. More or less, that's where the arrow's going to go. Now I did shoot that style for a while, but I wound up going back to this one because this is more comfortable, for me at least. Ooh-wee. I almost pulled a Robin Hood there. Matter of fact, I might have destroyed the knock, but I'm not sure. The next most common draw technique is known as the Mongolian release, or thumb draw. Now, one thing I do need to mention is that when you're talking about the Mediterranean release and you are shooting right-handed as I am, the arrow will go on the left side of the bow, or the arm that is holding the bow. And that is because when you draw back, there is twist and torque on the fingers, which is then on the string and translated to the arrow. So that when you draw back, the arrow stays on the shelf. Whereas if you put it on the other side and you draw back, the arrow tends to try and leap off the bow, as you can clearly see. Now I am exaggerating a little bit there, but that is what happens. With the thumb draw, it's the complete opposite, because when you draw, the torque is actually going to the opposite direction. So when you have it on the opposite side, in this case on the right side, the torque is actually pushing it towards the bow. It's a very interesting draw technique, if nothing else. But it is also a totally different setup than the Mongolian release, so you need to change up your shooting style a bit in order to compensate for what you're doing. Now, if you practice with this technique, you can become not only proficient, of course, but you can actually be pretty damn quick with it too. There are a few different channels on YouTube, a few different archers that use this technique and are extremely accurate with it. Sadly, I can't think of their names, but there is one especially who has... oh, what's the term? Resurrected Mongolian horse archery, and he is incredible with his skills. Now, I do have a thumb ring in the house, but I forgot to bring it out with me, so this is a little bit painful, but you can also use leather releases. And this was obviously a very common release style in Asia and other areas similar to that. Now, the final draw technique I'm going to show you is the one that I have decided to call either the Avatar release, and I'm talking as in James Cameron's Avatar, not Avatar The Last Airbender, or the Hollywood release, because I have seen it in other Hollywood movies. Now, for anyone who has actually seen the movie Avatar, for one, personally, I think it's a pretty good movie. The Na'vi use this grip exclusively. You don't see them drawing Mediterranean, you don't see them going with the Mongolian thumb draw. You see him doing this, holding the bow hand upside down, only 2 fingers, and drawing back. And as you can see, I've got the arrow on the right side because it's doing the same kind of torque as the Mongolian release. And I am not very proficient in this hold at all. And one thing you'll notice is that the bow will tend to twist in the hand, similar to what it does with the Mongolian release if the shot is done correctly. Now, as far as Lord of the Rings is concerned, the only time you see this is in the first one, the Fellowship of the Ring, and that is with the main Uruk-hai that winds up killing Boromir. When he has that gigantic steel bow that he shoots Boromir with 3 times, that is how he is drawing. Man, my grouping is amazing. That is the general idea of it, is it's kind of a combination between the Mediterranean and the Mongolian. And as far as it is concerned for the Hobbit, you see Bard the Bowman use it when he first encounters the dwarves, as well as when he is shooting at Smaug. I'm pretty sure this has been in other movies as well, but those are the 3 main movie genres, as well as movies themselves, that I can think of where this type of release is used. There you have it, the 3 most common archer releases that are used today. The Mediterranean, which is the most common, 3 fingers, draw back, release. The Mongolian, which is the thumb draw, and the Avatar draw, or Hollywood draw. So, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, because if the subscribe button is red, that means you are not subscribed. And don't forget to click the little bell icon, because that way you'll be part of the notification squad and you'll be notified every time I upload. And don't forget to comment down below if you think that I missed anything, if there are any more types of holds that you know of that you would like me to demonstrate for you here, if I can figure out how to do them, of course. And aside from that, thank you all so much for watching. This is Bowmaster619 out, and I will see you in the next video.